Look at a modern map of South Asia, and you will see a landscape fractured by heavily militarized borders dividing China, India, and Pakistan. But cutting right through this geopolitical grid is a massive hydrological network that ignores those human-drawn lines entirely, the Indus River system. This is the very river that gave India its name, and its banks served as the cradle for the ancient Indus Valley civilization. Yet, as ancient as those human settlements are, the river's true power belongs to a geological timeline that precedes human borders and the very mountains they occupy. This diagram shows a cross-section of the region millions of years ago, illustrating a concept called antecedent drainage. Before the surrounding mountains even existed, these rivers were already established, flowing horizontally into the ancient Tethys Sea. When the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates violently collided, the immense pressure began driving the landmass upward into what would become the Himalayas. Instead of being redirected by this rising wall of rock, the rivers fought the uplift. The flowing water maintained its course, cutting vertically into the bedrock at a rate faster than the mountains could rise. The deep V-shaped gorges left behind are the physical proof that the Indus and its major tributaries are older than the tallest mountains on Earth. It was a relentless, high-speed collision of earth and water. Over millions of years, liquid continuously defeated the upward thrust of solid rock. Recognizing that unstoppable geological dominance is the only way to understand how these waters flow downward today and how they shape the modern subcontinent. The main artery of this system begins high up at the glaciers of the Kailas Range in Tibet. From its source, it starts with a surprisingly gentle gradient, flowing northwest directly between the Ladakh and Zanskar mountain ranges. That calm trajectory ends when the water hits the towering Nanga Parbat Range. Here, the river executes a violent geographical shift, taking a sharp southward turn known as a syntaxial bend. This sharp bend forces the water through a massive 5,181-meter deep gorge near Attock, officially ending its turbulent mountainous journey. Breaking out of the high altitudes, the river enters the Potwar Plateau and slices through the Salt Range before spilling out into the open plains. But this central channel is just the anchor. Its true regional weight is forged further south, where it gathers the waters of 5 distinct eastern tributaries. These are the 5 rivers that give the Punjab region its name. It starts with the Jhelum, which rises at a spring in Varanag and pools into the expansive Wular Lake before pushing south. Next is the Chenab, formed when 2 high-altitude streams unite at the 4,900-meter Bara Lacha Pass. Further east, both the Ravi and the Beas rivers carve their beginnings near the Rotang Pass, cutting their way through the Daladar mountain range. The Beas presents a critical geographic anomaly. Out of this entire massive system, it is the only river that lies entirely within Indian territory. Finally, there is the mighty Sutlej. Like the main Indus, it originates in Tibet and pierces the Great Himalayas through a series of vertical gorges. Before the Sutlej reaches the plains, human engineering stepped in to harness its kinetic power, culminating in the construction of the massive Bakra Dam. This map tracks the layout of the basin as the Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej all converge. They merge their collective waters into a single junction point known as the Panjnad. What begins as a sprawling network of mountain-carving streams transforms here into a unified, high-volume lifeline, essential for agriculture and survival in the semi-arid plains below. The physical layout of the basin creates a stark regional contradiction. The water begins in China and flows through India, while remaining the primary agricultural requirement for Pakistan. Following the partition of the subcontinent, dividing this shared cross-border resource became one of the most volatile challenges facing the newly formed states. The tension was formally addressed on September 19, 1960, with the signing of the Indus Water Treaty. This infographic displays the total volume of the Indus system's discharge. To divide the resource, the treaty dictated a strict mathematical compromise, highlighting this 20% segment as the maximum fraction India is permitted to utilize. Carrying the remaining flow, the unified Indus continues its long journey south, eventually fanning out into a massive delta and emptying into the Arabian Sea below Karachi. The Indus River system is an ancient force of nature that literally wore down the Himalayas. Today, these very same waters act as the fragile physical bind dictating the survival of three nuclear-armed nations.